Hey everyone, this is Helena, and I'm so excited to be talking with Candice Oneida again today. She is a feminine energy and empowerment coach, originally from Australia, and everyone just loves Candice so much. Our last live stream was just got such an incredible response. I knew I had to bring her back on again. So welcome, Candice. Thank you so much for joining me again today.
Hey, Helena, always a delight and an honor to be on with you. And talking to your community. Yeah,
Yes.
exciting topic today.
I am just making sure everything's working. Yes. Okay. Perfect. I always get a little nervous at the beginning. I never know. There's always some issue, but everything seems to be working. So hi to everyone. Say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. And we are going to be talking about such an amazing topic. I've been getting so many requests for more videos on this. Candice is actually going to be sharing her secret method to embody your feminine energy, which is what men truly desire and adore and crave in us. Right, Candice?
Absolutely. They certainly do. Like, that's one of the biggest things. I know you encounter this all the time, Helena, that I think, I think we've got similar women who we work with. When we're working with smart, savvy, successful women, like, we have this perception, I'm saying we because I was that person, when we turn up to dating or in relationships, that these high value men that we want to be with want to be impressed by our intelligence or our success in work or business or our smarts or something. And it's very unconscious because that's how we've been taught to compete in the working world and in our normal life. And so we think that that's how that we'll impress them, or we present our value through this intellectual thinking level of things. And I'm illustrating this because, and I'm doing this thing, and it's funny actually, isn't it, right? Because in the business world, men often, or used to at least, they wore ties. It's funny, isn't it, right? Because the tie actually used to make them more a talking head. Like, it literally cut them off from their body. And then weirdly enough, energetically and symbolically, we walk around with ties on as women. Like, we cut ourselves off from the head down, and we literally are cutting ourselves off from our body and subsequently the bounty of our feminine energy, because that's all we know. That's what the world teaches us how to do and how to be and how to think and act, right?
Wow, I never even thought about that before. Like, that's so true. And I remember, I used to think like, okay, you have to show a guy how smart and educated and successful you are. And I can tell you from experience that does nothing for romance. A man might admire that, but on another level, it's almost like this masculine competitive behavior, kind of wanting to go toe to toe with him, right?
Absolutely. And they may very well be impressed, but probably largely unconsciously, they're going to shift you more into a friend zone, or a friends with benefit zone, or a mates zone, as we'd say in Australia. If we're going to turn up and buddy up with them and spar with them at that intellectual level, they're going to categorize us differently. Now, one of the things that I really had to learn for myself is how much men are sensitive to feminine energy and how much they desire it. And this is not something that's going through their head. Is she feminine or is she masculine? He's not doing that. But men are super, super sensitive to the feminine in us. And when you turn up in your feminine energy, it is like flies to the flypaper or bees to the honey, right? You being the honey here. And so we want to turn up in the honey, in the thing that attracts things to us. And that's our feminine energy, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm just checking the chat. Thank you guys so much for saying hi. And any questions you guys have about this, we would love to answer them. So is there anything else you want to share before jumping in? Because we're actually going to share a very practical, step-by-step way to embody your feminine energy, because we all know, well, my community and yours as well, you have an amazing community over on your channel too. By the way, everyone go subscribe to Candice's channel. The link's in the description. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end. But if you're watching this video, you know the importance of getting in your feminine energy. But one of the number one questions I get, Candice, I don't know about you, is, okay, I know I need to be more feminine. I'd love to get into this other side of myself, but how do I do it, right? So that's exactly what we're going to be sharing here. So anything else you want to say before we dive in?
Well, really, an answer to what you just positioned there, Helena, and it's absolutely true. The next question is, okay, well, I'm getting on board to wanting to be more feminine, or I'm grokking the idea of feminine energy, and that sounds great, but one, I either don't know how to do that at all, I've completely forgotten, I've had no role models, I've had no coaching, I've had no mentorship around that. What the heck is it, for a start? And then we start to talk about things, as Helena does too, about, well, we're not talking about it as another thing to think about, another thing to ruminate on. It's something you have to embody. And so I always say in my community, Helena, that feminine energy and feminine power is everything that's happening from the neck down. Right? And so what I'm illustrating when I do this line, obviously it's a little bit of a metaphor here because it's not as cut and dried as that. But if you are not embodying, if you are not taking your feelings, your sense of yourself, the sense of the sensations in your body, and you are getting into a positive relationship to it, an embodied relationship to it, where you love your body, where you feel the subtle sensitivity of your feminine form and your feminine energy, right, which is the subtle part of us. If you're not feeling good about moving around in this body, if you're not feeling good about how it feels to move this body, to flick your hair, to move in this curvy way, then you aren't going to be embodying feminine energy. And so that's the thing that we really want to talk to you about today. Is the next question from that is then, how do I do that? Show me how, please.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I totally agree with what you're saying. It can be hard too. Like I get it. I can be sometimes stuck up in my head, and we can get into overthinking, especially when it comes to these high stakes things like relationships, or, you know, any area of your life where you feel this need to like analyze the situation or try to figure a man out, right? And a lot of women I see, they think they're leaning back, but they're actually very much leaning forward mentally because they're up in their heads, right? Yes, you're laughing. I think you probably experienced that too. And so, yeah, it is this embodiment. So I love these questions. They're fantastic, you guys. I'm seeing all your questions. We'll get to as many as we can at the end. Let's dive into that. Let's dive into this exercise, unless there's anything you want to share right before
Sorry,
we start.
I'm just taking that last thing you said and going, yes, I'll lean back, but I'm still totally controlling the space, and I'm still rigid, and I'm still worried about what's happening next, and does he like me? And
Yes,
that's not leaning back.
We've
That's
all
not
been
letting
there.
go.
Totally. We've all been there. It can be easy to do that. Like, okay, I'm leaning back. I'm in my bed, but really you're thinking about how you need to lean back because you're trying to get a result from a guy or like make him do what you want. And that's obviously a very masculine energy, results oriented way of going about things. So this is, I imagine, is totally the opposite. And I've never done this before. So I imagine you're going to like take us all through it. Is that how you want to do this? I'm really excited.
Yeah, I've got a few things that I can pass in our time. So look, let's start here, because I've got a few things that I can pass to you that are actually you can really use. And then there's something that I do with the Powerfully Feminine Sisterhood, which is my private community behind my programs. And it's called the Honest Reveal Method. And we'll get to that if we have some time today. But let's start with just a lot more sort of low-hanging fruit practical, if we could, Helena, for everybody here.
Sounds great. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just kind of let you take us all through it, and yeah, however you want to do this. Again, I've never done this before, so I'm excited to experience this myself.
Great. Okay, first. So let's start with this, because I think this will lead into understanding the next pieces anyway. So I alluded to it before when I was talking to you about feminine energy. Embodiment is about what's happening from the neck down. So I remember, if I'm laughing here, I'm definitely not laughing at you. Okay, I'm laughing because of strong memories of myself being just like that. So this is a laugh of compassion and encouragement. So please take it that way. So I remember, for example, when I was corporate, okay, when I was in the corporate world, and I was the blonde bombshell with my hair tied back, you know, long blonde hair, the $1,000 business suits and the briefcase, and the 4-inch Mary Janes walking through these lift lobbies of these big commercial buildings. And even the way I used to walk, you'd hear this clip, 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 clip of my heels, very directional and very straight and very, right? And the body, the movement of the body was very much like that, okay? The directional forward-moving aspect of the masculine. And the feminine is really different. So the feminine is actually this experience of things through curves. Okay, so I'm illustrating that because one of the things we start to feel in ourselves, in our body, is we start to feel the motion. Okay, so think, or feel, I should say. This is not about thinking. Feel the motion of the feminine through something more like the ocean, where waves roll. Okay, and even nature in general, because nature generally has curvy lines to it. Okay, and so one of the things that the masculine loves about us and our body is its curves. Now, don't go, I don't have big breasts or whatever. I used to think those things too. It's not about that. It doesn't matter. Like sometimes the curve is the curve of the hip. Okay, or even just the curve of the shoulder. And every man I know will have a favorite part of women's bodies. Okay, I can promise you. And it's not what you think. It's not always going to be TNA. It's not. And so what we start to do is we start to feel our own curves, and we appreciate them. We love our own. So you're there just watching us at the moment. By all means, find a curve on your body that you may not like very much. But I encourage you right now to actually touch it. Like I'm just grabbing something, the back of my haunch here, and just be loving to it. Just stroke it at the moment. Feel the curvaceous flow of that. Okay, even if you're really thin, even if you're really big, it doesn't matter. There's curves in our bodies that we can emphasize. Now we do it through clothing all the time, but I'm really talking about it here as a feeling thing. Okay, now I'm also illustrating in the way I'm moving at the moment. I'm starting to move more in a curvy motion. So even if I was in front of you or a man at the moment, rather than squaring off to him and sitting straight up and interviewing him, right, in like the woman I was illustrating clip-clopping through the lift lobby, what if you were just more sideways, or you're emphasizing the curves, not to manipulate the man, maybe flirt a little bit, but because it feels good to you, right? Because it feels good in your own body to feel this sort of curvy profile aspect of your body. And it's totally fine if you're talking to a man too, is to, sometimes we need to self-soothe a little bit when we're dating because it's really scary. I get it. And it's totally fine if you're touching your own body and you're appreciating your body, your curves. And I'm not talking about being overtly pornographic or anything here. That's completely unnecessary. It's just that when you do this, and when you feel like this and you be like this with yourself, you literally start to switch something on from the neck down. Like you're switching something on in the body that starts to exude something energetic. Okay, that's more the honey aspect, right? So that the bees can come toward that. Okay, so that's the first one. I don't know if there's any questions from
I love it. Yeah, I'm just monitoring this as we go and checking all that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great questions. I don't know if you want to get to some of them now or if you want to keep going. That was amazing. I was just kind of imagining myself doing that as you were speaking. Some people are asking, so someone says, I have a date tonight. I have trouble figuring out how to drop in myself. I like him. I haven't been on a date since 2013. What can I do to relax and not be a ball of nerves? Great question. I think what Candice just shared would help tremendously with that. Candice, what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna give you I don't know if we're gonna get to do the honest reveal sensations method, because it's one thing on its own, and maybe we can do that at another time. But honestly, my favorite way, and the way I suggest to my women before you're going off on a date, after making sure you come home, you change clothes if you're coming from the office, right? So you want to change the space and the energy in your body if you're coming off from the office. So change, shower, bath, do those kind of things. But after that, one of my favorite things is what I call a sexy dance break, right? So we can just call that the sensual dance break. So you just stick on your Spotify or your favorite music, however you play it. Okay, you can be naked or clothed. You're by yourself, and you just let yourself move your body to the music in a way that feels good to you, that shakes off your nerves a little bit, makes you feel a bit more sensual, maybe a little bit more sexy in your own body. And 1 to 3 songs of doing that, it's the best transition I know.
So great. Oh my gosh, that's such a good tip. Hopefully that answers some questions. Like Shannon has a great question. How do we make sure we're in our feminine, not our masculine? I think everything we're going to be sharing in this video will help you with that, Shannon. Let us know if it's
let's do that one for a second, because one thing that I teach my women too, and it's something I want you to just start to gauge in yourself, okay? And this is an art, not a science. By the way, anything around the feminine is in the line of art, not science. There's nothing that Helena and I can teach you that is about you're going to go and read this list of things to do before you go on a date, or how to be with a man. It's not like that. It's more art, skills, things that you start to embody and make your own. So we don't want to be your experts forever. We want you to become this. We want you to become powerfully feminine. We want you to stand in your true feminine power, right? And so one of the things I get my women to do early on is start to feel in themselves, what percentage of masculine and what percentage of feminine am I running right now? Okay. So I'll do this all the time. I'll just go, okay, I'm a little bit more, I had to race home, okay, I'm running more masculine, feminine. So you see, I always say this thing, in transformation work, you can't change what you don't see, right? Or what you don't know. So we need to know and be able to feel the difference between what masculine and feminine feels like in our body before we can apply anything to it, before we can change that or flow into it. Excuse me. And there's nothing wrong with your masculine, by the way. We're not here to sort of destroy the masculine in you. It's something wonderful. And by the way, those men, they're going to work out that you're brilliant. They're going to work out how smart and successful you are, but it's not what you lead with. They're going to work that out, and they're going to adore that about you, especially because you're that and this incredible feminine woman. Wow, what a package, right? And so what we need to do is, and we do go into the masculine often more in our business lives or our own businesses. So just do it right now. Just close your eyes and just start breathing. I'm just going to have my eyes open, but just start breathing. Full breaths in and full breaths out. We also don't breathe properly as women. We don't breathe fully. So let's just breathe together. Let's start there. And as you're doing that, you're just doing an honest self-reflection on the percentage of masculine and feminine you feel you're running right now. It's an approximation. It's not about getting it right, okay? And if you're willing to share with us on the thread, please do.
Amazing. I've actually never heard anyone share that before, anything like that. So that's fantastic. I've done similar things, percentages, meaning like the positive, negative, things like that, good feelings versus unpleasant feelings. But with masculine, feminine, that is brilliant, Candice. Amazing. Yeah.
The thing about it, loves, is that I think somewhere in our mind, we know, you and I teach about masculine and feminine, and we're not going like 100% from masculine to 100% feminine. We're always moving in this flow. Okay, back to the fluid and the flow of the feminine. So let's see it more as a flow between these different forces inside of us, rather than black and white, because that's just really, we end up being really hard on ourselves, don't we, Helena, when we do that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first thing we want to do is beat ourselves up, or like, oh, I wasn't feminine enough. That's why the guy disappeared. So yeah, that was really amazing. Navita's asking about speed dating. If you only have she's going to a speed dating event. She says, if you only have like 90 seconds in front of a guy, will he be able to pick up on this? I would say the answer is yes. Any tips for someone in going to like a speed dating event or a singles event?
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, as you know well, Helena, the concept of speed and the feminine and sexuality sounds just a little bit masculine to us. So maybe those concepts were set up a little bit around masculine energy. So then the question becomes, okay, well, how then, even though this is a bit more of a masculine setup environment, how then do I bring my feminine into that? And I would suggest that you try some of these things, and that you say less and that you feel more. As in, what, rather than feeling like I have to in a 1 minute exchange with somebody, what if I just went, I'm just going to put my hands on my legs and I'm going to feel my own body so that I'm exuding more feminine energy with this person.
Wow.
That's what I could do in a minute, right?
That is such a fantastic tip. Yeah, I would say that's right on. I mean, and I feel it's like, okay, I need to fill this space and explain who I am in 90 seconds to this guy, right? Versus what he's picking up on is your energy and your vibe. It's not about what you do from work and where you grew up and where you live now. It's your energy that you're exuding, and you'll probably be the only woman there doing doing that. Just feeling the moment, experiencing the moment, actually slowing down that 90 seconds so you can actually feel what's going on within you as it's happening. Someone was asking, can you give an example of what it would look like if you were in your masculine, or more with the percentage? Someone was saying 70% feminine. What happens if the majority of you is in your masculine? What would that look like? Do you have any examples of that?
So when we're talking about feeling the percentages, it's about feeling your own body. So it's not look like, it's about how you feel in your own body. For example, you might notice that there's a lot of tension up in the shoulders and the neck or your head, and it takes your awareness into your head and takes you into the anxiety and the worry energy, right? Okay. So what we learn to do after we do the percentage thing is we then do the honest check-in. Okay. And then we learn to go, wow, I've got a bit of tension. I've got things happening here. So then we learn to go, okay, well, how then do I get back more into the feelings in the body, the sensations, the subtlety, and the curves? Okay. Have I just raced from work in this directional orientation and I'm just feeling really tense? Then that's why I suggested the sexy dance break. Or you're not going to be like moving like this in front of someone in a date. There's different things we do together, girls. By the way, guys, if you're watching this is, you got to block your ears. This is secret stuff. This is what we do together, or we do on our own. Okay. So these are ways that we can learn to consciously get back into our feminine, feel good about it, ring a girlfriend, feel juicy, right? We want to feel that water element, juicy, the enjoyment of yourself. This is how we bring our value forward. This is the high value, true feminine, I call it in my work. Okay, this is the queen. She's confident. She feels good in her body. She's enjoying the interaction. She's not trying to prove herself or compete with him or stand up on an intellectual level. She's feeling good about herself.
So good. Oh my gosh. I love how you explained everything, and everyone is totally vibing with this with this exercise, and everyone's saying, we'll get to all your questions at the end. Hopefully, I've been using these videos in non-dating mindsets just to start feeling this way in life. It's been so great. It's, someone else says it's definitely helped me in life overall, not just in dating. Love the feminine energy exercises. So many great comments like that. You guys, thank you so much. Someone had a great question at the beginning before we jump into the next tip about what happens if resistance comes up. Do you experience that with women in your community, or maybe in yourself, especially when you're first starting out with this?
Oh yeah. So the reason why I've sort of just given you this really low-hanging fruit level of getting into the embodiment is the full, what I call honest reveal method. I usually only reveal the whole thing in my sisterhood as an adjunct to my formal trainings, because it takes time for women to value body sensations. Like, when we have been taught to value thinking, strategy, thought, action, competition, goal orientation as the high values in the world, and then I'm saying, yeah, but what about embodiment? What about the feminine? What about, sensuality? What about your sexuality? What about these pieces? Like, no, don't talk about those. Oh, they're hidden. They're things we don't talk about. These are right. And so to get from this world orientation where we've spent 30, 40, 50 plus years in that being valuable, important, what makes us a valuable member of society, or, right? There's a lot of resistance to, well, why does this matter? What's the value in this? Why does that make me turn up as a high value queen, a high value woman, versus my intelligence? Why justify that? Because everything's about rationality there. And what we're trying to pass here, Helena and I, is the masculine man, the high value masculine man that you want to be with, who is your match, who you're seeking, is, I can promise you, Helena can promise you, is seeking a very feminine woman. Okay. And he knows. He's sniffing it out every date he goes on. He knows in his body whether you're feminine or not, or he's going to push up against a challenge in you that's the masculine. He wants to bring his masculine forward to you. And we need to learn how to embrace the penetration of the masculine. And before we can do that, we're braced in the masculine rather than embraced. We brace against it because we think we have to do this other thing. And so when we start to feel good in our body and that this is a high value position, you are, in fact, you're solid gold out there right now because so few women are turning up feminine. You are solid gold. You are the prize that these high value masculine men are looking for, and they will fall sideways over themselves to protect you, to hold you, to provide for you, to give you everything that you want as you continue to learn to be in that orientation, to embody the feminine. And then as you move into a relationship, as you know, Helena, there's a whole learning of communicating your desire, your needs, communication through the feminine, masculine polarity and dynamics. And they'll love it. Like it's not just how to catch a man, it's how to keep him. It's how to, and it's not even, that even sounds too goal oriented. It's like when you are like this, you don't have to do the efforting that you're doing right now. It's going to be him that does all the efforting. It'll be him that leads the relationship forward, and you will just be swept by that. And think about it. If you're already doing all this doing and you're already goal oriented and you're smart and strategic, what a relief. What a relief to have this high value masculine man who actually does that for you, right? Why do it in a relationship too?
So true. Oh my gosh, I love everything you're saying so much. Yeah, something I always say is the great thing about being a woman and your feminine energy is getting a man to see how wonderful you are. Even that language, like getting him to see, but really inspiring him to pursue you and to want to take care of you and all those amazing things you mentioned. Doesn't involve any effort at all, effort in the traditional sense of moving the relationship forward and planning things and scheduling, and right? It's about being and embodying who you are and showing up authentically. It's not about doing something and trying to make something happen. So, and Shannon, to answer your question, yes, you could think of it that way. Where did it go? When you're in your head, it's masculine. You're in your body, it's feminine. Is that right?
Very, very broadly. Okay. So this is low-hanging fruit level. Obviously there's a lot more to it than that, but yes.
Yeah, let's, before we get to some more of these questions, do you want to reveal your next tip, or I love everything you're saying so far.
Yeah, look, the thing is, and you and I spoke about this, Helena, we've discounted things that are feminine as unimportant, not powerful, underneath, lesser than. We've all very unconsciously put all these adjectives on feminine things, and one of them is the ability to be highly sensitive. Okay, that we are sensitive and we feel deeply. Okay, and I'm not just talking about emotions here, because that's actually not what I'm talking about yet. So it's very hard for a woman to actually identify the emotions in her body if she can't identify the first level of the reveal method, which is feel body sensations. Okay, so let's do that together. We're going to feel body sensations, and I'm going to give you an indication. Okay, so this is why we do this after we get the sense of the percentage masculine feminine. Then we go, okay, I'm doing the full breath in and out, because that helps you to feel sensations, right? And so when I feel myself, I'm sitting down, I put myself in this room today so I could be moving a bit more and sitting down like I would when I'm in my training. So I can feel my my backside on the carpet, but also behind that I feel this sort of tingly sensation in the lower part of my body. And as I sweep my awareness throughout my body, I can feel like a pulsing energy in my legs, my thighs. And then when I come up the front of my body, I think it's partly because there's always this beautiful dynamic I feel with Helena. So I feel this really lovely pulsing in my heart center in the middle of the body, and a sense of this is sensations. I could talk about emotional things. I'm just talking about, is like a pulsing energy, like a pulsing feeling. This is feeling. And then I scan, and there's a little bit of tension. I've had a bit of tension at the back of my heart, like in the back center in the last few days. So there's a little bit of tightness there, tightness, constriction, and I feel that a little bit up the back of my neck. And then I feel a little bit of like, again, a pulsing, tingling energy in my cheeks at the moment. Okay. So that's revealing body sensations. Reveal and feel. I say, in fact, it's the other way around. You feel and reveal. You have to feel it first. And we can practice that here together. So feel and reveal one body sensation that you can identify right now. It's not a thought. It's not an emotion. It's a sensation. Okay? So let's try that together as you continue to ask questions on the thread.
I love it. Wow. I totally got lost in that. I was, I kind of had like a little out of body experience for a moment. Amazing. I was totally doing that right along with you. It sounds like everyone else was too. Melissa says, thank you so much for educating. You guys are amazing. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let us know what you guys are experiencing. It's something we never do, right? We're always kind of just lunging from one obligation to another, often just kind of like going through the motions and living on autopilot. And most of us, I mean, myself included here, sometimes have no idea what we're feeling in our body or in our hearts, at any given moment. So that was beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And let's keep going with this as I'm waiting for people to comment in the chat.
Yeah, well, just again, keep doing that whilst Helena and I are still talking to you, okay? Because in the line of what Helena just passed, what are you being driven by then? Like if you're being driven by other people's desires for you, your work, your family, all of these things that drive you, well, how are you ever going to really know what you really want and what you really feel and what's really driving you from an inside out orientation? And you could spend 20, 30, 40 years being driven by society's desires for you and other conditioned desires for you, your education, all these other things, family, well-meaning parents, I call them. These things drive you. And that's what the midlife crisis is, by the way, because people get to midlife and go, whoa, that's not what I wanted. We're trying to save you time here. We're trying to say, well, hang on. What about you? What about what you feel? What about you? What you desire underneath all of that? Okay. And so the art of desire is one of what I call the 5 core feminine arts. And trust me, there's a whole process I take women through to get to their desires, not all these other driven desires for you, right? And this is an important facet in that. You have to be able to feel yourself, feel your own body, feel what's inside you, okay? What comes up from inside, not from here up. Not what you should want, not what you should think, not how you should act, right?
I love it. Yeah. Something I always say is body sensations are kind of like the gateway into some of your deeper feelings, because a lot of women are like, I don't know what I'm feeling, right? So I always go for the body sensations first. I love how you put that. Is there a next step to this, or is there once you're in your body, is that the end? You're in your feminine?
It's not, but we've passed a lot today. And as you know, Helena, if we go any more complex here, we're just going to confuse you. There's actually a lot to do here. And I'd prefer that we do it at another stage, or we train you the whole method fully or something. But this is important. As Helena just passed, what do you want? How are you feeling? I don't know. You know why you do that? Because you're up here. And so what we want you to do is, this is important. This is like a bridge, okay? So the sensations in the body might seem meaningless at first, but how on earth are you going to feel what you really desire, or what you're really feeling underneath, like a lower level expression of an emotion or something, if you can't even feel sensations in your own body, right? So it seems meaningless, but it's not. It's like the portal into this giant world of your feminine energy and power. Okay.
I totally agree. I think even just sitting there searching for a feeling or a body sensation in front of it would be like the sexiest thing in the world to a man. Right? Because you're not trying to do something, right? You're not trying to make him be more affectionate or figure out what's going on, or why have you been so distant.
I've done that.
We all have. I still do that.
I've been on a date and I've been going, Okay, I don't say it out loud. I've been going, I feel a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It's like, okay, what's happening? I can feel a little bit of excitement and trepidation, and I can feel a tingling at the base, and I can feel pulsing in my heart. And I'm just doing this all in the background whilst I'm interacting with the guy, or had been in the past. And that's okay. That's good. These are good things to identify. And by the way, as you know, Helena, this leads us toward our vulnerability too. Like when we're honest with our own sensations, and then we start to reveal the emotions underneath that. Oh, that's really vulnerable. And without that, how can you be real with somebody? And men adore our vulnerability, by the way. And
Oh yeah.
you use the word vulnerability too, and it does not mean weak. It's a power. It's an incredibly powerful, beautiful thing to turn up in your vulnerability. With a man, with people in general. And the masculine will really want to protect that in you. And so obviously we say the word vulnerability, and that's like, whoa, we're not saying you do that on the first date or something, but there is a desire to present that ultimately, because through our vulnerability, we're actually presenting something a lot more real. And it's not that that's all what we are, but it is an aspect of what we are. And if you're holding that back or hiding it or pretending that you're invulnerable, then how's he going to get in? How's he going to get to your heart? How's he going to feel your heart? And how are you going to inspire his?
So beautiful. I mean, for everyone in the chat, I can't wait for you to go read these comments who they're about to go on a date tonight. They're about to meet up with a guy from their past. They're, going out, going to be meeting men. Try this and come back and comment later. I would love to hear how this goes for you, because I just imagine these men feeling this desire to come towards you and to like protect you, depending on where you are in dating and relationships. But it really is the most attractive thing. It's like, well, I feel like I'm supposed to do something. Well, a lot of women, I go, oh, how do I show him that I'm in my feminine? And it's not about leaning forward and showing him you're different now. It's totally what Candice said, leaning back, getting totally into yourself and your own body and your own feelings, and like just feeling that part of your heart. It's not, you don't even have to say anything or do anything. It's just this energy and vibe that you're going to be exuding, and energetically it's like you're creating that space for him to come closer. You really are. It's kind of like, it feels magical when you do it, because you'll get results instantly, but it's not magic because everything is energy, right?
Yeah, and it's maybe just to clarify what we're saying here, gals, is when you feel it, think of it a bit like a switch. So we always talk about this sort of magical aspect of this feminine energy that just does this thing, that has this magical response. But it's because when you feel it, it's like turning on a light switch. Oh, I feel this tingling in my heart center. Light switch turns on. So when the light switch turns on, woo, that's when the thing starts to exude. That's our radiance. Like we turn the light on. I'm feeling sensation in my leg, bing, we turn another light on, woo, right? And so the magic is in your relationship to it, in your relationship to your body and to these sensations we're talking about, and then potentially emotions, potentially vulnerability. You're switching the light on and more lights go off, and poo, poo, poo. That is a doing, like that is an action. And it's a different type of action than we've been taught, right? It's a new action. It's more an action of shining, of radiance, of being yourself, than going out and doing and getting.
I love that. I've talked about, like, it's like an invisible action, because it's like you said, it's not about doing and showing, and I get that, wanting to show a guy that you've learned all these new things. It's really like he will be able to feel it in your vibe and in your energy. So for everyone, about to use this tonight, I love that everyone's like, I'm going to use this on my date tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah, come back and let us know in the comments how everything went. Like, I really think you guys are going to get incredible results for this. I'm just going through everything here, saying I'm loving listening to this. Thanks, nice video. Definitely tingling in my heart center, cool skin. It's not very easy to share this. Oh, that is beautiful, solitary miss. Yeah, it isn't easy to share. But like Candice said, that's that vulnerability, and like I said, just the energy of you searching for a feeling and not being up in your head projecting this energy outward, right? You're totally into yourself. That's really all you need to do. I would love to do like a part 2 of this video. If you guys are interested, do you like these tools? Do they work for you? Were they challenging? We'd love to hear from you, because we should definitely come back. I know we're trying to keep this one to 30 minutes. We always go a little over.
It's okay. It's totally cool. But just, I really want to give a caveat and a reminder that if men are listening to this, you have to block your ears, because what Helena and I are talking about right now are the secret things we do that we learn to do to be in our feminine power. So when we together are sharing the sensations or the emotions, or when we get onto the rant, rave, and reveal, part of the honest reveal method, we're doing it either alone, or we learn to do it alone, or we share it together. But you don't do this with men, just so you know.
Totally.
This
doesn't
doesn't work well with men, by the way.
Yeah.
I know that sounds weird, but you don't do this process with men. It's totally different how we engage men.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, because it's really not about him. It's about you, right? It's about you and the process of this. I'm just checking in. Vulnerability is exactly what men crave. Maggie said, I totally agree. Trish said, you can feel the shift instantly. I tried it. I was so surprised how fast the energy of the man changed towards me. It's like 180 degrees. Yes, Nikki, Solitary Mystic said, I love more videos like this. Thank you for all your secret weapons. Oh my gosh, I love it. Lisa, we're about to probably close out here pretty soon, but I will publish the replay will post immediately, and you guys can come back and go to that. I know I'm gonna come back when I'm doing this. A lot of times I'm very much in my masculine, because I have to check the chat, I have to try and listen and do all these things. So I go back a lot of times and listen to the exercises where I can actually do them more myself. So I can't wait to do that. Anything else you want to share before we talk about your free feminine archetype quiz and your Facebook group and everything?
Well, just that, we've spoken about this before, Helena, but what we're talking about today is a way to embody the true feminine, okay, which in my model is an embodiment of the queen, okay? And so when we go into our head, or we go into the fear, or we try to manipulate, or we don't feel worthy, and all these things are aspects of the false feminine in us. And I always say that because we can also move between the true and the false feminine inside of ourselves. So what we're teaching you today is a way to literally embody yourself in the queen, okay? And the more you become familiar with this, the easier it will become for you, yeah? And so this is why I was going to offer you to jump on over and take my feminine archetypes quiz. It's going to be popped in the description box here. And because then you learn where you're at now. Again, we can't change what we don't see. So if you find yourself landing in the princess or the maid, don't worry about it. Helena and I are well versed in how to get you into your queen. And then, yeah, we'd love to be able to engage you. I send you a bunch of, training on the true and the false feminine there. You can jump over to my channel and the Powerfully Feminine community. There's plenty of ways that we can help you moving forward. And Helena has awesome gifts for you too. Like, she's just a massive resource in this regard.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, people are saying, I would love more videos sharing feminine energy insights. It's always beautiful. I would love to do some more videos with some of these exercises, Candice. That was awesome. So yeah, everyone go check out the quiz. I took it myself. I got the queen archetype, which Candice said she knew instantly. So I didn't have to take the quiz, but I did anyway, because I learned a lot.
That's an embodiment thing, my love, because you see, I can see you, even though I haven't met you in person, right? We've ended up becoming cyber friends, right? So far, at least. All I need to do is one look at a woman. I can tell you exactly where she's sitting because of her embodiment level, right? And you learn to see this too, by the way. So when we did the percentage masculine and feminine piece, you're going to start to see it in other people. Not as a judgment. We're not using this as judgment tactics. We're using it as be curious about other people, curious about yourself. And this is how we learn together and we grow toward our authentic, true selves.
So true. Yeah, I learned a lot taking the quiz. So I would encourage everyone to do it. It's totally free. It's the first link right now. It's already in the description. You guys can close the live chat and go check that out. And yeah, Candice gives so much information on the different archetypes. And it was just, she puts it in a way that I've never heard before. So that was amazing. Everyone go check that out. Also, there's a link to her YouTube channel. She has a big, amazing YouTube channel and a wonderful community of women over there. I think a lot of people probably already are subscribed to, but if you're not already, definitely check that out. And then there's your Facebook group too, which is the third. Anything you want to share on that?
Slightly different group of people. So I've got a totally free Facebook group where I usually do weekly live streams or show you videos. I've got quite a lot up there too. I do slightly different stuff there than I have on my YouTube, the YouTube channel. Sometimes there's some crossover, but either way, we'd love to have you in our communities.
Yes, amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, everyone's asking about your necklace, by the way. Everyone, that's probably the number one comment we got is the beautiful necklace. Your necklace. Loving these vibes and videos help me raise my own vibration. Thank you, group. Such a fantastic group. Oh my gosh, Lisa, thank you so much. Oh, someone wants to see Leo, my cat. He's asleep right over there.
Oh, where's Leo? Bring on Leo. Bring on Leo.
Right. You know, maybe the last video I posted, he usually likes to come make his presence known. So we'll see if I can get him in on the next live stream. You guys are so sweet. Yeah, much love to all you too. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us all the way to the end. Candice, anything else you want to share before we close out?
I think we've passed quite a lot today. As you know, it's good to keep it in little bite-sized chunks so that you can actually put these into practice.
Yeah, let's definitely do this again soon. I can't wait to go back and just watch you explain everything so beautifully, and just the way everyone always comments about the way you move your body when you talk is so feminine and beautiful. And so I can't wait to go back and do these things over and over and over. I need to be reminded to do this all the time too. We all can, we all need
some coaching and some reflection and mentorship. It's actually one of the beautiful pieces of feminine power is how we work together in sisterhood.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's so true. Absolutely. So have a great weekend, everybody. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for all your sweet comments. Hope to catch more live streams like this. Thank you so much. You all are amazing. Oh my gosh, thank you guys. I can't wait to go back and read all the comments. And Candice, you're gonna love my community. It's so amazing. You guys are so wonderful. So yeah, have a great rest of the day, and hopefully we will do this again soon. Candice, thanks again for everything. This was amazing.
Bye, everyone.